So with the time we have left, I'm super excited to kind of jump in and dig into anything you want. Two quick things. My social handles are up there. I believe in a wide open network. So you will see on both of those social network, you'll see a little image for today's talk. So if we don't get to your question, or which is also really common, like you think tomorrow, like, oh, here's something that I wish I would have asked. Or if you're like me and you're a pretty significant introvert and you're terrified of asking questions in front of a large crowd, you can do that too, but like go up there and I will answer every single one of them. And I will gladly take any questions that you have. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Is this thing working?
Yeah, it's on.
So you mentioned really briefly like uncertain futures. Like what kind of actions are you taking ahead of time in your role to prepare for that?
That's a really good question. So how am I dealing with the VUCA that's come up, the volatile, the uncertainty, and the ambiguous world that's going on? I am trying to learn about a lot of different things. I'm trying to leverage my skill set and my expertise to make a difference. I am, make it real for me. Like, what are you doing? What's your role?
I'm a brand strategist for advertising department of an insurance company.
Okay, so insurance, advertising, brand strategist, great roles, congratulations. So you want to understand what the business objectives are for your company and how you could leverage your expertise to help drive those. One, it'll give you security in your position and how you're doing, and it's also going to help you prepare as you continue to grow in this uncertainty. Is that good? Yep. Fantastic. Anybody else? Gentlemen, down the front.
I'm a recent graduate, and I am really excited about trying to network and grow and connect with people.
You're in a great place to do that.
Absolutely. I do feel a little anxious because I have this fear that everybody I'm talking to that they're already established in their fields or in the industry, that they're annoyed with students coming at them like, hey, how's it going? Because my image is that I'm talking to them trying to connect and network, and they're just hearing, do you got any jobs for me? I really would like a super awesome job if you have one. So do you have any advice for networking, connecting with people without driving them crazy or being a jerk?
That's an awesome question. I'm really glad. And you're not a jerk. You have 600 people in this room who will support that theory. Okay, so I heard two things in what you were saying. One, you were feeling anxious, and one, you wanted networking strategies. Is that correct? Okay. I'll talk about the anxiety first, because that's actually a very common thing for juniors to actually senior business leaders. So the behavioral psychology behind that, and I'm going to yada the science on this one. Is that okay? All right. So anxiety and excitement are right next to each other in the brain. The feelings are the same, but they manifest in different ways. So one of the first things that you could do is when you were, saying I'm feeling anxious about something, first of all, just think about, hey, this is a stop to excitement, okay? Now, as your brain, as a processing unit, the reason why it's feeling anxious is because you don't have a strategy or a plan in place for how to deal with it. That's kind of what your brain's doing. So when you think about this, if you have a plan in place for how to network and how to do this, that anxiety goes away. So that's the first part of kind of what you were talking about. Second part is networking. So I'm not going to repeat what you said because I don't think it's true. Networking is super important. Actually, on my LinkedIn, in advance of this, I posted some strategies on networking, so you should check it out. There's a ton of really great books out there. There's a ton of really great things. But you also got to think that, if the person you're talking to, they've been there. They've been there about networking, and they know it. So don't, shoot yourself in the foot already by thinking this person's not going to want to talk to me. Third point I'm going to add to this. Never ask someone for a job. You want to ask someone for advice. You will get a higher return rate on the conversation. So you just be interested in people, talk to people, and if the good role will come, the good job will come, but there's some really good stuff. There's also some amazing talented people, talent headhunters here. I think there's a couple in the first couple rows. Talk to them, that's what they do. They're recruiters, they kind of work in this world, so chat them up. Does that help?
Absolutely.
Cool, thank you, great question, that was awesome. What else we got? I blinded by the light. I'm blinded by the light.
I love your greatest hits chart, and was curious
Thank you.
if GE had that in the culture So, everyone's getting that and filling it out, or if you developed it on your own, and what was the thought process behind it?
Can you say that again in a different way? I just want to make sure that I'm tracking it.
Sure, with your greatest hits
Yes,
chart,
okay.
did you develop that on your own?
Yes.
Or is that, a standard form that all GE employees fill out?
No, it is not a standard form of General Electric. That is way off brand guidelines. I ran the brands, I know. Yeah, you don't do that at GE. But that was something that I developed in two-part. One, because in my role I was actually doing less design, and I was like, I'm a designer, like I miss doing things like that. And it was also a good way for me to kind of track being on this very senior level at a very large company and do this. Also really nice because it's a one-page visual of here is the value that I am providing to this organization. So that works really well when you're talking to senior leaders. Does that answer your question? Thank you. That was awesome, great question. Anybody else? I see someone with a hand over here, someone over there.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm moving from a role where I'm an individual high performer to leading a team, establishing our first in-house creative team.
Awesome, good for you.
Can you give me some advice to not mess this up?
That's a great question. All right, so you're a high performer. You're going from your role as an individual to now managing people and hopefully making them high performers too. That's a great question and really, really good. Okay. Accelerating as a creative leader, you have a certain skill set. And as a high performer, you do things really well. So now your role turns into more of a mentor where you're trying to teach those skills and share those skills. Do you want me to talk high level or get prescriptive? Sorry? So yes, I will talk high level, and yes, I will talk prescriptive. Okay, cool. There are some really interesting things as your role changes to being a high performer. Now you have to be very strategic in your creative decisions, which I think everyone should do in general, because the creative becomes just better. You need to get really good at influencing and persuasion. You're nodding your head. Yeah, you gotta do that. Your network is more crucial now. What company are you in? Sorry? I asked you the wrong question. I apologize. Is it a big corporation or kind of a small one? Kind of small. Okay, that's good. Like when you're big corporations, then you have to deal with cross-matrix and cross-functional teams. So this one, it's a lot about being a good role model and using those other business skills in order to do that better. I also want to make, you brought me to a big point. So I'm working with Debbie Millman. We've created a new conference called REACH. It's all about accelerating creative leadership. We're going to talk all about this stuff. It's in November in New York on the 13th and 14th. Some quick prescriptive things that you could do. Weekly meetings, like half hour with your teammates, one-on-one, just kind of get to them. Ask for feedback. Get them involved and get their buy-in in what you're doing. And instead of becoming a high-performing individual for other people, you have a really good, powerful team. Okay, is that helpful? Fantastic. Great. There was some over here.
Hi. Got a quick question for
Sure.
you. I've been in the industry for 30 years.
Good for you.
I
Awesome.
lead a team of 12.
Okay.
In the past, the team didn't have a leader who had a design background.
Okay, so they're a manager.
Right.
Gotcha.
I delegate a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 team members that are very strong with leadership skills. The rest of the team, not so much.
Okay.
So I spend a lot of my time answering questions all day. And I'm trying to find some resources that I can use to, the team that I manage have been working for 30, 40 years. So I'm trying, and they don't have, a lot of time left to work with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find some resources that I can, that I can use, because they're close to retirement, that I can use that will help them become better leaders and take ownership of the assignments that they're given.
All right, so I'm going to repeat back to you what I think I heard. You have some older individuals who are on your team and they're not really vested in the success and learning and doing stuff. Is that right? Okay. Hard. So it's a hard challenge. It's a common one too. If you're not interested in supporting your team, that's a tough spot. So you have to find other ways of influence and motivation. There's a lot of really good stuff about influence and persuasion and motivation. There's a great guy named Michael Caldini. He wrote the textbook on this sort of stuff, which is really good. You're more dealing with personalities that you have to do that. It's not a design or management thing. And there's a lot of really good resources out there. And if you want, like, I can dig into this a little bit more outside. Okay, cool.